Today, we're stepping back to see the big picture. What is the big picture? It's legacy. Legacy is the long game. It's being built by passivity or it's being built on purpose. It's being built by excuses or by execution. It outlives us once our time on this earth has come to a close. Your approach to life and legacy is being watched by your family. But the real work happens when no one else is looking. That congruency and commitment to integrity gives you what I call internal credibility. So when the tough times come, you and I can walk through the fire and stand tall. Let me give you a picture that spoke to me today. I want to call it the Lighthouse. The Lighthouse isn't concerned with the storm. Its very purpose is to stand tall through the storm. It is firm in its foundation, built for its purpose, and its light is determined by the height and strength of its construction. The ships may travel far outside its view, and they will face storms the lighthouse cannot see. But when those ships turn back towards port, the lighthouse remains steady, certain, guiding them all the way in. The lighthouse is built for storms. And that is what legacy is. And that is what we are building together. Furthermore, that is how we honor God with our lives. So let's talk today about the big picture. This is Man versus Marriage, the podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Man versus Marriage. It is I, your humble servant, Quincy Moran, a.k.a. the Q-Dawg, a.k.a. in some circles, the Q-Diggity Dawg. That's the way that your boy gets down. Let's talk today about the big picture. And what is that big picture? It is your legacy. I cannot emphasize that enough. And how do I know that? Because it's the people's legacy in my life that have affected me so greatly that call me to a higher place in my life, call me to a higher version of myself. And when I think about legacy, of course, I think about earthly people. But when I truly think about the big picture of legacy, the legacy I look at begins with Jesus. And look, even if you are not religious or you don't want to hear this religious kind of stuff, I'm asking you to stick around because the story of Jesus Christ took place over 2,000 years ago, and yet people still talk about him and who he is. If you think about his story, it's the ultimate family legacy. An almighty God who humbled himself, served humanity, sacrificed his own life so that humanity could be brought back in reconciliation or into a direct relationship with God. Furthermore, he defeated death so that we could have victory over death and we could be eternal and live forever. You see, God is about reconciliation. He is about relationship. I believe he's called Father because that is what the dynamic of leadership is like, is to be a husband, is to be a father, and to lead your family. In the big picture here, it begins with evaluating who you are and why you do what you do. And that comes from a place in my life where I came to understand that who I was is not who I had to be. And you'll hear me repeat this over and over and over again in this program because I believe it's crucial that wherever you find yourself right now, whatever place you find yourself in, it's imperative that you know who you are isn't who you have to be. And let me tell you, that's if you're dissatisfied with who you are and where you are in this life. That applies if you're mediocre and you're just going through the motions. That applies to the man that is a high performer. Who you are is not who you have to be. You can grow yourself into who God has created you to be and realize that full potential. And so I want to talk to you about what puts the big picture in perspective. I'm big on evaluating who you are, why you do what you do, and then getting to the root of what that is all about. So I want to share with you something. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover the big picture here at a very high level. And then the shows that come after this, I'm going to dive into a little bit deeper in order to help you with building who you are becoming, because that is incredibly important. Who are you becoming? I had to look at what is called limiting beliefs. I heard this from a gal named Julia Gentry. She wrote a great book. The book really caused me to look deeply inward to say, Quincy, why are you doing what you do? And I discovered as I went through that book that I was living my life based on a few lies. Now, you can live your life based on lies that were told to you, or you can live your life based on things that you perceive that may not really be the reality of the circumstance. And that is where I was. So I had to confront my own hidden lies. One of them was that I didn't matter. Another one was I was not good enough. And those were planted early on when my parents separated and eventually they got divorced. I carried their brokenness as my responsibility. And those lies, they turned me into being a people pleaser, chasing validation. And once I discovered them, if you're a longtime listener to this program, I believe that awareness is a weapon. And so once you discover these things, now you have the ability to choose different. And when I found out, though, that was the circumstance, it truly set me free. Does it mean I never dealt with it again? No, absolutely not. Sometimes it still comes up. But I think that comes through the familiar that would challenge where I am and where I'm going, rather than within from the root of the lies that I was believing. So I want to help you through how you may go about, how you might find or discover what limiting beliefs are alive in you. And why can I do that? Because a testimonial I give you, or from a place of testimony, I was able to do that. So I want to bring that to you and teach you how. I want you to identify, this is for Apple users, you Android people, you guys that do Android, I don't know what's up with you, man. Can you really be trusted is the question. Identify your iOS. What is your internal operating system? What does that look like, Q-Dawg? Well, it looks like this. What voice is guiding you on the inside? That's what I call quiet dialogue. Does that voice help you, or does that voice hinder you? Does that voice cause you to look for someone to blame, or does it guide you in taking responsibility for who you are and what you are doing? My quiet dialogue used to sabotage everything, blaming, assuming the worst, replaying my failures. He would convince me nothing was my fault and life was only fair to everyone else. Look, I had to confront that in my life. There was a thing in me that said I was only ever going to be good enough for second place. And when you look for something long enough, you are going to find it, whether it's true or it's not. It's called confirmation bias. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. It is a real thing. So, what I had to do is I had to take those thoughts captive and I had to redirect those conversations in my life. Next, I want you to identify your posture. Are you in growth mode with gratitude or are you grumbling? Are you complaining? And this is where that comes in. It's a show I did called The Shift from I Have to I Get to. And I'm going to tell you what, when I got the depth of that, it changed my life. Even on the hardest autism days in my life, now I can see things differently. Like the simple, practical things I'll use outside of autism. I had a garage that needed to be cleaned. I had to clean it. We had to clean it. I had a fence that needed to be mended. I had a yard that had to be mowed. And then it occurred to me, hey, everybody doesn't have a garage. Everybody doesn't have a yard. Everybody doesn't have property. You've worked extremely hard for these things. God has blessed you. So you have a garage and you get to organize it. You have a fence that closes in the perimeter of your property. So you get to mend it. You have a yard that has grass. So you get to cut it. And that was a major game changer in my life. And it taught me that I could choose my perspective. And that was game changer. I'm going step by step here because it is a methodical approach. So I want to give you a few of my talking points here today, and these will be some of the shows that follow as well. And I want to build this in you. I look at the downloads that come in. I look at where you guys are hungry to learn more. And so that's where this show is being shaped from. And God is so good that he reminds me of these times in my life so that I can come here and I can help you with something that is built by testimony. It's not built by story, which those things are good, but it's built by testimony. Do you remember what I told you the difference is between a testimony and something I read? The testimony is, metaphorically speaking, in most cases, I bled for this, not just I read this. So that's why it's important for you to feel that sense, of connection there, to feel that sense of credibility, if you will, because I'm bringing you my own story. These are things that have happened within my own life. Thanks for letting me work that out right there in front of you. So legacy is the long game. It's built by daily execution. It's not perfection. Our standard here at Man vs. Marriage is excellence. Next, Jesus is the greatest legacy. Service, sacrifice, victory over death. That means victory for you. That means you can become a new man. How do I know that? I've done it. I'm doing it. Uprooting the hidden lies within you. Like for me, I don't matter. I'm not good enough. Those things are silently, secretly sabotaging the foundation of who you are. And then taking those thoughts captive. Guard your quiet dialogue. It either fuels blame or it builds peace. It either calls you to a place of accountability or pushes you towards blame shifting. Next, the mindset shift, the perspective shift from I have to do this to I get to do this, because you get to choose gratitude. And gratitude, trust me when I tell you, gratitude changes everything, even on the hard days. I have a show coming up. I'm trying to put it together. I want to be able to articulate it as powerfully as it came across to me. And it has to do with choosing gratitude, even in autism. And I'm telling you right now, autism is some of the most difficult. It's in one of the most difficult seasons that we've been in a very, very long time. And it's hard because right now we're coming upon 50 years old. And so we're starting to see the future picture of what is next for us as our children grow up and go their own way. They go on their own journey. They head towards those storms that we can't see that I talked about earlier when it comes to the lighthouse. So we're looking at what it is we're going through, and we are working together to get through some of these really tumultuous times. And it gets really hard. But I can still choose gratitude. And the lesson I learned even yesterday was about choosing to remain angry as opposed to giving that anger over. It's a very powerful message. I'm working through it. Give your boy some time. Come on. And then lead with trust, not with fear. Live your values when no one else is watching. I cannot tell you how important. Maybe I don't have the ability to articulate how important it is that you do the right thing when no one is looking, because you are truly building internal credibility with yourself. You are becoming that man that you can count on. You are setting the standard for your life. And you can have the utmost confidence when you come to the place of answering the call, when you do the right thing, even when no one is looking. That will build your credibility. That will allow you to step to the proverbial microphone and say, this is how we did this. And the other thing is, from a place of faith, I took a pause there for a minute because I want to say this from a place of faith. What you are doing does not go unseen. I don't do the right thing because it is being seen. Although in order to get the discipline down early on, I began doing things as if a camera was following me everywhere. I had plenty of failures. I have failures today. I have failures up to today where I would want to do things better. My intention is to do right. I'm not talking about anything crazy. Nothing that's going to come out on the news or whatever like that, but just things that I have a particular standard. I should do what's right. And sometimes I get nitpicky and I don't, but I'm endeavoring to live that standard. And I'm telling you, to a very high degree of confidence that I do, because integrity matters to me. And able to come and speak to you with confidence matters to me. That is how I show up here. So leading with trust, that has to do with your family. That has to do with your wife, with your kids. That has to do with them giving you their trust in a sense where they're going to honor your authority. And sometimes with your adult children, that gets difficult. That's part of the storm that I'm talking about in the Lighthouse. Now, here's something that really, really captured my heart. Your family is your first ministry, whether you are religious or not. I'm asking you to receive this. Your family is your first ministry. That's one of the reasons I'm so excited about launching Becoming Family Famous, to teach you men how to be famous in your own home, it does not mean that everything's going to be perfect, because it's not, because we're human. Because your children, as they grow up, they have to make choices and endure consequences, just like you and just like I. Just like you and just like me? Oh, that didn't sound right. So know that life is about who you're becoming, and I say that because the next piece of that is to decide who it is you want to be by leveraging the funeral experience. What words do you want spoken about you? And as we go through this, I'm interested to know what kind of man you want to be, and if you are going to put yourself on a path to become that man, because this outline is how we get there. So with that, I want you to remember this other truth. When you do your best and you still fail, when you do your best and you succeed, you've heard the phrase or the terminology, I was born ready. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe you're born ready. I believe you're built ready, and it takes intention, it takes purpose, and it takes being dedicated to those things in who you are becoming. And finally, we're going to talk about leadership as a whole. And that leadership requires you living those values, the values that we've talked about, the man that you want to become, living it in front of everyone to the best of your ability. But also, like we talked about earlier, living it to a standard when no one is around. I want you to come to the place where you say what you mean and you mean what you say, and you can be trusted with your words, and you know the power that your words carry, so you use them as wisely as possible. It's difficult, but as you grow into this journey, and I look at the guys that, the age range of the guys that listen to this program, I believe it's between 25 and 55 is the bulk of where we are. That is an awesome place to be. For those of you who are near my age, around the 50 mark, and your kids are growing up and they're starting to move out, it's quite a time. But those of you who are at that 25 to 35, and your kids are starting out, like your family's growing, this is imperative for you. This is imperative. It's really imperative for us all, but certainly while the kids are younger, we're going to help you get your life framed up in such a way where you're walking out this legacy. The legacy is the long game, because it doesn't really present itself in its fullness until years down the road. You have to take a look back. You have to take a look back like we did after my grandpa passed away and say, wow, look at how his presence remains with us today. Not only in the memories and the conversations, but his presence in who he guided us to become with his wisdom and experience from here on earth in this life. So as you look at your family as your first ministry, you are going to live in service to them. You're going to live in service to your family. And that is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, lines of leadership there is. You'll have to get your own brand of what that looks like. And I'm here to help you with that. So men, I just want to remind you as we close, the Lighthouse isn't built for calm seas. It's built for the storms, to stand tall, to stay firm within its foundation. And I'm calling you to stand tall. I'm calling you to stay firm in your foundation and keep your light burning for your family. If you're struggling to identify, or you're struggling to catch the picture of what that looks like, Join us for these episodes. Go back and look at the catalog of episodes that we have. We are here to help you. I have an entire list of episodes called Where Do I Start? Now, it is about marriage, but it always begins with you. And keep this in mind. Your ships will sail far. They will face storms that you cannot see. But when they turn back toward home, they will find you. They will find you steady. They will find you certain in guiding them, not just in the moment, but what you have done in the moments leading up to that point. We got to do the work when no one's watching. That is how we build ourselves in the legacy of the Lighthouse. God bless you. Thank you for listening to this episode. Let me say a quick prayer for you, just really quick. Father, I want to thank you for your goodness and for your faithfulness. Lord, it is not an accident that the men and women that are listening to this episode are here. I believe that you're speaking to our hearts, calling us to a higher place to build that legacy, to follow in your footsteps and build that legacy for our family, because that's your first ministry. Us is your family. Lord, meet each and every man and woman where they are today. Please meet them where they are. And sow the spirit of hope into them that they can overcome. I'm a living testimony of that. Thanks to your goodness, your faithfulness, your grace, and because you have been with me through it all. I pray a blessing upon their home. I pray for an impartation of hope in their life. Thank you, Lord, for all that you do. And thank you for the opportunity to share your goodness here, today, and right now. Jesus, I pray these things in your name. Amen. Guys, thank you so much. Now listen, this week, I want you to write the words down that you want spoken about you. The legacy statement. Go back and look at the funeral experience. I will do all I can to put it here in the show notes. Identify one of the areas where your quiet dialogue is sabotaging you, and let's get to work replacing that. Even before we get into the deep dive, when you get frustrated and you say, hey, I got to get up and go to work, maybe you can change that. I get to go to work. And would you share this episode with 5 men that you believe could benefit from hearing it? Let them know when you do that you're becoming that lighthouse. Let them know that hope starts right here. Let them know that legacy is the long game, and we are going to do it together. Thank you so much, guys. My name is Quincy Moran. This is Man vs. Marriage, the podcast.